phone is. Okay. You take over, Dean.
Oh, where's the chat?
On the very left.
Here we go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Mondo's just grabbing something real quick.
All right. We live. What is up, everybody? What is up? What a day. We got Just As Danny at the Fine Fire Studio. Let's go. Oh, man. Thank you, everybody, for joining today's live stream. And we got a lot to talk about. I really feel like we are going to focus on Disneyland today. As much as I want to talk about Knott's and Universal, Disneyland's kind of where the conversation is at. With everything that's transpired from Fantasmic last night. It's one of those things like you didn't want to believe it when it happened, because why would that be happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why? But there's a reason they call it Murphy. And it's just, I don't know where things are going to go. How have you been, Danny? Give us an update, man. How you been?
Good. It's I was able to go to Disneyland today, which was nice. So get a little bit of updates. And also, more importantly, I finally got to go to Boysenberry Festival after all this time. I went with Mondo this weekend to Boysenberry Festival. I hadn't been at all since the festival started, because every time I tried to go, because I can only go on the weekends, when the festival first started, every weekend since the winter season began was a rainy event, like every weekend. So every time Knott's was either like closed soon or closing soon. So it was like, this is my first time to actually go. So it was nice. I was happy to be able to make it.
And Knott's, it was hot, but it was doable. I feel like we're a couple weeks away from the theme parks being like bad, like 90s, 95s, and just humid and pretty much summer weather. If I'm not mistaken, didn't like winter feel like it went way longer than like previous years?
It did, yeah. We had definitely an extended winter season, which makes me, like I was telling Mondo, I was worried about the haunt season this year, because that just means to me that our September and October is going to be really hot. As summer goes a little bit further into that, and we're going to have they also said too that this season or this year will be one of the worst on record mosquito seasons for Southern California, with the ankle biter mosquitoes, which are the worst ones that can bite you multiple times. So they said we'll have the worst, and every city now, before it wasn't every city, now it's every city in Southern California has been affected by ankle biter mosquitoes. So make sure you're bringing your bug spray to Disneyland. That's a new bag inclusion from now on.
Dude, for me, I am the worst with ankle biter mosquitoes.
They're the worst.
I get like just really bad inflammation from those type of mosquito bites. And for me personally, it feels like they last twice as long as a regular mosquito bite. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And they're so itchy. So Danny saying that is like the worst news for me, because it's like I love wearing shorts. So it's like the concept of like, hey, you need to wear pants. I hate it. I don't know. I said a long time ago I was done wearing pants, but yeah, ankle biter mosquitoes. It's a good cause to be prepared. Where do you feel like those mosquitoes got you the worst? Was it Disneyland, Knott's, Universal?
Knott's. It's always Knott's.
It's always Knott's?
Always Knott's.
Yeah, I was going to say, I felt like it was Knott's last time, where I was like, man, they really got me. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I'm not ready for freaking the mosquitoes, dude. I hate the mosquito bites. They hurt so bad. We got a super chat. Happy Speculation Sunday. We saw Danny today. Wanted to say hello, but we were chasing the Mandalorian around. Oh damn.
Yeah, I saw the Mandalorian today in person for the first time. So I didn't. He was walking around with a little girl in Galaxy's Edge, and she was just taking him everywhere she wanted to go. And he was just following her around. Everyone was like chasing after them like they were celebrities.
Dude, look at this. This was today. I haven't posted that yet.
Oh yeah. Do you think that's for Pride Night or something different?
Oh, that's what it might be. Well, Star
Yeah.
Wars Night. So I haven't posted it yet on Instagram or anywhere, but Galaxy's Edge. Since we're on the topic of Galaxy's Edge yesterday at night was turning different colors like red, blue, yellow.
Basically, the colors of the rainbow.
Colors of the rainbow. My first reaction every time is it a. I'm trying not to cuss. Is it a Star Wars lightsaber battle? I don't think it is. I'm guessing that's Pride Night related, dude.
Yeah. That's what I thought of when I first saw it, just because of the rainbow colors.
And I'm talking about all of Galaxy's Edge. Like, all the spires are... I'll see if I could post this on my Instagram, and I'll showcase it to everybody. Let me see. Let me screenshot that. I want to ask, what do you guys want to talk about first before we get into any conversation of what we want to talk about? Let's do a Q&A. Let's do a Q&A, everybody. Let me see. Big Avocado says spray mint oil as it keeps mosquitoes away. Plus, you smell like double mint gum. Hey, I'll take that.
Kimberly Moore put that in the chat too. I've never heard of that before. How do you get the spray? Like, where does it come from? Do you just make it or what?
Dude, I just attract mosquitoes. Melissa says Stony Clover just announced a Pixar collab. Man, they're gonna take everybody's money. Everybody's money. So peppermint spray. I've never heard of that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I need all the help I can get.
Yeah, me too. So everybody wants to talk about Murphy. Do you know why they call it Murphy? Yeah, for the longest, in the long time ago, I'm talking like 7 years ago, I was like, why does everybody call it Murphy? What?
It's because it's bad luck. That's why they call him Murphy. Murphy's Law whole thing, because it's had its many years of many problems. When it was when it first came out, it had problems like not being able to, like when they first put it in, like they couldn't get it to raise out of the ground. There was all these problems. They had to redo a bunch of stuff. Ever since it's been installed, it's been nothing but issues. But it was called Murphy before too. So I think they just continued the name, but it stuck true to its naming right, and has always been an issue. And then of course today, now Murphy is gone, and so it stuck true to its namesake.
Yeah.
And the bad luck streak unfortunately continued for Murphy.
Let me see. I'm trying to post this video from, her name is Danny, but it's not popping up. Oh, there it is. All right.
What's that?
Oh, the phone is right there. That's the one. Okay, cool. I got my phone. I'm on the right phone. That's what she says. Okay, hold on. Let me try to focus. Let me show everybody real quick when I'm talking about the lights in Galaxy's Edge, because I feel like this is big news. Anytime there's anything in Galaxy's Edge, it's worth talking about, because not a lot of change ever really happens in Galaxy's Edge. And let me see. Here we go. Let me see. Hopefully this works. All right, we're good. And then, okay, we're good. So this is the lights I was talking about in Galaxy's Edge. Look at that. We will see what that is about. If anybody has any, just like a rumor of what that could be, is it Pride Night related? Is it a lightsaber battle? Let us know. I would love to find out more info on that. But let's talk about Murphy. Fantasmic Dragon has caught on fire as of yesterday, and it's a sight to be seen. I was able to go today in the morning and actually see it in this form. This is an article from the Orange County Register. Disneyland crews assemble fences and scrims around the damage on Sunday morning to cover the charred skeleton of the Fantasmic Dragon. I didn't get to see it in this form right here. They kind of put like a cloak on the head. But there was a lot to be said when you see this, because they were able to lower it. And that's what a lot of people were saying. Like, maybe there's still hope, this is a damaged type of thing that's going to be a long time. But there was hope that the concept of the elevator is still working. So maybe they could like put the floor up to still do some kind of show. Like, because Aladdin is probably, that's gone too. I don't know the exact logistics down underneath that pit where Aladdin is. And what's the other one? The Cauldron?
The Cauldron down there. Mickey goes up and down there too in a lot of different ways. So the Maleficent thing comes out from that side too. I don't know if that was damaged at all. You know, the stage itself was where the dragon is separate from those areas, but I'm guessing it's a pretty big pit, obviously, if the dragon can't fit in there. But you know, there's other equipment down there, and right, if it's leaking lighter fluid, you know, that makes the fire effect down into that pit, and it was like all on fire. I'm sure it did some damage down in there, as well as, you know, the firemen eventually coming to Disneyland and we're just hosing it down, and all that water goes into the pit too. So there's a lot of infrastructure we don't know, right? The extent to the damage. I mean, look how long It's a Small World was down when its electrical equipment went down due to flooding, you know, when they had that incident happen there. So this could be a quick thing. Maybe it's up next week, or without the dragon.
In B mode, yeah.
And without the dragon. Obviously, if you know, Murphy is sometimes pretty unlucky, right? So she has some issues. So she doesn't always come up. So they have a B mode, right? Maleficent still goes. There's a couple B modes, right? Maleficent still goes up on her podium. Sometimes Maleficent's just on the podium, and she does like, she pretends as if she's the dragon and like kind of attacks Mickey that way. I've seen that variation of it, and I've also seen where Maleficent still goes up, but then the water screens pop up, and then the dragon and all the dragon effects are only on the water screens, and they still do the fire effect on the water, because the dragon shoots fire like on the water screen. So, but we know now too, and I don't know if you want to pull up the thing from Scott Gooston, the
real
statement.
Quick. Thank you for the gifted membership, Virginia. 5 fires. Thank you so much. It went to Space Mountaineer. Thank you for growing the 5 Fire community. Let me see. It was from Scott. And, man, a lot of info coming right now. Big thank you to Scott Gustin. He is literally on fire. Or I guess that's not the best way to say things right now, but he's usually quick. And he is as precise as it gets when it comes down to information and news. When it comes down to Disney World, he's just awesome when it comes down to getting that info quickly. He put here, in an updated statement, Disneyland says the cause of Fantasmic dragon fire remains under investigation. Officials also said similar fire effects used during select Disney shows and experiences globally will temporarily be suspended and out of abundance of caution. During the final show of Fantasmic at Disneyland Park on Saturday evening, the dragon prop caught fire. Anaheim Fire and Rescue quickly responded and the fire was extinguished. All cast members were safely evacuated from Tom Sawyer Island. Due to smoke and wind, attractions near islands were safely evacuated of any guest, and the cause of the fire remains under investigation at this time. We temporarily suspend fire effects similar to those used at Disneyland's Park Fantasmic at select shows and entertainment experiences globally out of abundance of caution of the following Fantasmic prop fire at Disneyland Park. The continued safety of our cast and guests is of utmost importance. And then we got another update. Walt Disney World says the only impact will be temporary suspension of fire effect on Maleficent Float in Festival of Fantasy Parade and Magic Kingdom. There are no planned temporary changes of Fantasmic at Disney Hollywood Studios as a result of the incident. And then, let's see, for this reason, yep, that's it. That was the main one.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, this float here, in the past, it also burned down, which was Maleficent too. Burned down right in the middle of the parade route in front of all the guests. So it has a similar Fantasmic fire effect where the dragon shoots out flames on the parade route while it's going down. So they're going to stop that temporarily, just out of abundance of caution. But it has in the past burned down too, and the dragon was gone for a really long time from the parade. So it looks like, I don't know if the World of Color is going to have any fire effects tonight or if that's affected at all. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. But here's some video that Mondo had from this morning of them trying to cover up the dragon kind of construction cleanup zone on Tom Sawyer's Island, like right after park opening, right?
This was literally happening at 8 a.m. From what it looked like, because I got there around 8:20 or so. They really didn't start putting up that scaffolding and covering everything up until like 8 a.m. I'm guessing a lot of the fire investigation aspect of things was probably being done overnight. And I do want to say thank you to all the cast members, the crew that's working here to still essentially keep things running and keeping guests on their vacation going, because Mark Twain was working.
Yep.
And for the most part, everything surrounding Disneyland, like Haunted Mansion, Splash Mountain, Winnie the Pooh, all that's still reopened. Tom Sawyer Island, I did that open? I would say probably not.
No, it didn't open
I
was there. I mean, I don't know if it was going to open later in the day, but when I was there throughout the later morning and afternoon, it didn't look like it was going to open. The cast members were running the rafts back and forth, but they were transporting different workers or employees to the island and not guests. So I don't know if there's still some sort of investigation that needs to go on, right? If Disney has insurance, which I'm sure they do, they got to probably keep things clear so that the insurance can do their investigation, fire crew can do their investigation, and everyone needs to do all that stuff. So they probably don't want people on the island until that's been completed.
Yeah.
And it's safe for guests to go over there.
One thing for me, when I got there in person, Danny, I was like thankful is that the surrounding area wasn't heavily burned or damaged. Probably has smoke damage. I mean, I'd imagine that whole area has smoke damage, but I wasn't there in person, so I couldn't be like, I don't know where the fire was going or whatever. We just saw the videos of everything that occurred, but that stage, it kind of stayed in the pit, the fire.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't. That was one thing I kept like, oh my God, I hope doesn't happen, is the fire go into the house that's right there and then just Tom Sawyer Island. But Disneyland, they were quick enough and just efficient to get it under control. We got a super chat on the Venmo. Big thank you to Kaylee. Since the slow season is over, do you think more characters will come out? What characters would you like to see in the parks more often? Do you think most characters will be only available at after dark events? Kaylee wants those characters. I feel like she's determined. I don't foresee any new characters coming like anytime soon. Like do you think any like special characters coming soon? Because summer really doesn't it's not like a new season to bring out a certain set of characters like Halloween would, or even Christmas, stuff like that. They've kind of locked a lot of characters on after dark events, I guess.
Yeah, no, I don't imagine any other characters coming out. I thought we might see Bo-Katan, just during the Mandalorian, now that that's wrapped up. I still think we might see her character come out in Galaxy's Edge. Right now, though, Mando and Grogu are still walking around Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So other than that, I can't see any other characters coming out other than, the normal typical, like for the most part, if you want to see characters, you need to be at Disneyland before 12 noon, maybe even before 11, because all the characters that do, I know for a fact, the characters that have kind of roam around shifts in Fantasyland specifically, those don't go beyond like 11 or 12. So if you're like desperate to see characters kind of like that, like you'll see Peter Pan, you'll see Hatter, you'll see Alice, you'll see Captain Hook a lot of times, Beauty and the Beast, walking around. They're going to be roaming only in the morning. They're not doing that at night or in the afternoon. So that's a priority. Make sure you do that. Otherwise, it's just the random character meet and greets that happen like at different locations that can host them. So
yeah, if you want characters, Kaylee, I feel like new character. I don't want to say new character, but just more characters will probably come to life at the Tomorrowland dance party, because that's been a popular. They put like 5 to 6 characters there sometimes. I I felt like there was just as many characters at the Tomorrowland dance party during Halloween than you had at Oogie Boogie. Remember that? They literally put Captain Hook, Maleficent, Evil Queen. Was it Shmi was there? If I can remember. Oh my gosh. I think was it. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember. There was literally like 6 or 7 characters that came out at that dance party. So I would say the dance party, Kaylee. We got Delgado with 8 months of membership. He says, "Rest in peace, Murphy." Now that I've seen it in person, Danny, I don't think there's any hope of that dragon coming back. I feel like it'd be something odd if Disney rebuilt the same exact dragon. I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I don't think that's in their books. My first thought was, whatever they do, it's going to be Fantasmic 3.0. I think this version of Fantasmic that we see right now that's it. This one, whenever a dragon comes back in the future, if it even comes back, it's going to be way different. What I was saying, that Disney updated Fantasmic in Walt Disney World, I could imagine maybe they're eyeing, if they bring back a dragon, create a new show. They add the Moana, the Frozen, or even Encanto to Fantasmic. I don't know. I'm trying to look at it in a positive light of, like, even though all this happened, most importantly, no one was injured. But if Disneyland has an opportunity, it's the 70th, which we're not that far away.
Yeah, we're not that far away.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, maybe this is the hard part. Disneyland is in this mode where they're budget cutting a ton, $5 billion, literally across the company and stuff like that.
And they have to lay off.
So, and they've already said too, I think it was Chapek, that there was no budget for the e-ticket ride of Avengers Campus. There was just no budget. So at this point in time, Disneyland already has a DVC hotel running with construction, a treehouse that's taken forever running with construction, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Who knows how crazy construction that's going to be with the reimagining of that. We have King Thanos gift shop coming soon. And who knows what other... Oh, the whole Downtown Disney project. It's just a dirt field. Where does the budget come for a dragon now? I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, it might be an insurance thing, right? But like Mondo said earlier, insurance it's not a fast thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they may not have to come up with the money themselves, but I don't know how long insurance will take, but I'm sure there's some sort of something like this, in case there's a fire, which I'm sure they assumed, right, could potentially happen. So we'll have to wait and see. We don't even know too, the company who helped Disney create the dragon, are they still around? Can they still help repair it? It is kind of ish old, like the way the new version of it. So, is in that aspect, something they can rebuild, right? Or they have to just use the blueprints maybe and like kind of create something similar to it, or maybe they opt for something that doesn't have fire effects anymore. I don't know. There's like so many different variations, but I would imagine they'll probably do what they can to get Fantasmic running as soon as possible, right?
Especially mode, we need to get that up,
right? Especially for summer.
Crowds are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we got a super chat from Brian. Mondo, Danny, on the Disneyland daily event schedule, Fantasmic is scheduled to come back on 4/28. Splash closing delayed, if no Fantasmic for a while. That's something we were talking before we went live. At this point in time, we're heading into summer crowds very soon, and no Splash Mountain, and now no Fantasmic. I was just like, Danny, what is it going to look like in Main Street? Everyone's going to be in Main Street for fireworks. Because there's really only one nighttime spectacular now at Disneyland, since Fantasmic won't be running. We don't know how long. But do you think they delay a Splash Mountain? Or they're just like, there's no way. This needs to happen.
Timelines are set, I think, when it comes to that. Like, it just has to happen, right? If they adjust anything, maybe they adjust operating hours, or they cut back on how many people can come in on a reservation each day. to compensate. But I don't think, I don't think they're gonna delay Splash Mountain anymore. I think they've already probably delayed it more than they, at least in my opinion, they delayed it. I feel like more than they could have.
Yeah.
Because of the timelines of reopening the ride. So
do you think Kaylee says maybe a new show at Rivers of America? There's no way. Fantasmic's too iconic to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Fantasmic will ever leave Disneyland. If it does, I will cry. Fantasmic's just too good. This is an interesting one because Danny mentioned this too. What about if they do Dragon with drones?
I said that this morning.
He literally said that. We got Paris going crazy with the drones.
Yeah, because I felt like Tom Sawyer's Island in the fort area could be a pretty good staging zone for the drones. And then they create some sort of dragon effect in the sky. And they could still have the fire on the water, right? That's like floating on top of the water. But the power comes from the dragon like on the drones. So I was like, that could be cool. But I don't know how many drones they would need to make a dragon like that and have it look convincing. Maybe it's more than they could probably store on Tom Sawyer's Island. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a cool idea nonetheless. A way for them to kind of circumvent creating another animatronic.
All I'm saying is Disneyland Paris is flexing drones like crazy. They just did like a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 show. And then they did the Mickey silhouette around the castle. They're just like... They're like, we want something cool, drone it up. It's a brand new show, drones. I wouldn't doubt that their Star Wars month or night, whatever they do, might have drones too.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from Tony. Mickey's magic is too powerful. This time he burned and defeated the dragon once for all. Rest in peace, Murphy. Lucky that no one gets hurt. Oh man, I can't read. It says no one gets hurt on this accident. That's the most important part. It's just a scary incident. What I was saying too, like talking to a lot of people, like imagine being that Mickey that was just like, this is my dream. And for a split second, you're just like, whoa, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, get the Mickey out of there. But most importantly, like the staff, there's a lot of people that go behind the scenes to make Fantasmic work, from just like the whole changing of costumes and just the whole magic that occurs with that project. But thankfully no injuries, at least from what I've read. It's still early because it's only not even a day later, but hopefully everyone's okay. Thank you for the super chat, Tony. And grad nights are coming. Oh my gosh. Disneyland's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Let me see, I'm just reading. Let's see. What happens to those dining package reservations scheduled weeks ahead?
Obviously, if there's no Fantasmic, they'll still give you, obviously you can still cancel, right? You can cancel your reservation literally up until like hours before. So it'll just probably be like, hey, there's no Fantasmic, but you can still cancel. Because in all reality, even if the show was canceled that night, just temporarily, right, for some unforeseen circumstance, and Fantasmic wasn't going to be closed for like an extended period of time, they still charge you the full price for your Fantasmic dining packages, because they say that you're actually paying for the food and you're not actually paying for the viewing spaces. So if it's like a weather delay or something, Mondo's experienced that.
Just like Launch Bay, that dining up there, you're paying for a nice dinner. In a view, or not a view, but just you're paying for a nice dinner. This just comes with fireworks if it happens.
Yeah, so they'd probably still allow you to do that pre-fee dinner that they have of all the different options, but you just wouldn't get viewing for Fantasmic if it wasn't going.
Yeah, so I think my best recommendation, I would probably cancel at this point in time. If like, I don't know if you want to pay that premium for like a Riverbell Terrace. Yeah. I would cancel. They allow a lot of walk-ups and walk-ins if it was to come back and you want to watch it in the B mode or just Fantasmic in general, whatever they bring back. But, we got a super chat from Sean. Five Fires and the 5571 Rock. Two class guys right here. Some of the best park coverage out there. Keep on keeping on. I like it. R.I.P. Murphy.
Hello, Sean.
Danny, let us know about your podcast. And I know you filmed a video. Let people know where they find you if they're new.
Yeah. I just put up a new video a couple days ago from just a ton of updates that happened over the weekend, last weekend. So if you haven't watched that yet, you could do that on Just Ask Danny on my YouTube channel. So make sure, give that a like, watch it, whatever, leave a comment. There's a lot of updates on that one. And then Mondo and I had a podcast episode actually last week that came out on Tuesdays, which, by the way, Tuesdays are my new day of putting out the podcast, just because so much news happens on Sunday and Monday, I feel, lately, with Disney dropping stuff through like different people. So I was having to like re-record a lot of stuff because I would like make an episode and then all this news came out that made everything I talked about irrelevant.
I hate when that happens. You'll film some stuff and then another update happens that makes your current content like not the relevancy.
Yeah.
Because Disneyland is just so much change. It's unreal. Unreal.
Yeah. So Tuesdays now, 5571 podcast. Just search 5571 on any podcast platform. I'm a Spotify podcast. Like, that's the platform that I host on. But you can find it on any platform. So Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can ask your Amazon Alexa devices. I don't want to say it just to not trigger anyone's stuff. But yeah, feel free to subscribe there. So
one thing too that happened for like, I think it was 2 days in a row. I don't think it was the same day. I think it was 2 days in a row. Power outages. Did you hear about that at Disneyland? There was a power outage. I think it was like Indiana area. Indiana Jones area. And then a power outage, I think, also happened like near Buzz Lightyear or something. Like, there was just power outages that were happening.
Those are regular power outage areas, like
because the heat, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, like whenever they do have power outages in Disneyland, I always hear like it affects Indiana Jones and like Buzz Lightyear for some reason. Those are like reoccurring themes I've noticed when it comes to that kind of stuff. Also, their systems went down for ticketing, and there was a whole moment this week.
God, bring that up. Yeah,
that was another thing this week that happened. The systems went out temporarily, locking all guests outside the park, and this happened right at park hopping time. So guests were just filling the Esplanade because they weren't allowing them to come in because there was no way for them to verify admission. So there was a lot of people just stuck in the Esplanade. So Disney's had a kind of a rough week, I guess you could say, with their streak of bad luck. Some power outages, some ticket system outages, Fantasmic issues last night. So it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit of a crazy time. And I don't know if you want to pull up to Mondo on Twitter.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
We got a super chat from Darnell Wright. Question: can my daughter use my husband's Star Wars After Dark ticket since he won't be able to go? Yes. I know that they do say to call Disneyland to change the name, but every time I've gone to After Dark events, a name is never checked. I'm just being straight honest. A name is never checked. Where they're like, hey, we got to see your ID just to link these tickets up. I've never seen that happen. But they do recommend to call Disneyland, like the ticket booths, or even in the chat. You could do the Disneyland chat. I've heard people change the names there too, because it's already linked to your account, so they could search it, change the name. But for the most part, I've never had issues or heard anybody have issues of like using just the wrong name. What does matter is if you use your After Dark event ticket and your picture's taken and it's not you anymore, that's where the issue is. And there's no re-entry for After Dark events. So so once you get your picture taken, it's just your ticket. It doesn't even matter the name.
I was going to show this here. So this is from user J Squivel on Twitter. They posted. Oh,
there we go.
I don't know. I'll let you do it.
There we go.
They posted the aftermath. So this was taken potentially. I don't know how this video or photo was taken, but this was after the firemen are putting it out. And here is where I'm saying that there could be some issues. You can see here the firemen are there. they're spraying water on it, and that's, this dragon is sitting above a big pit with a lot of electrical equipment in it, other hydraulic equipment, which is how it gets up. Just a lot of controls downstairs, right? So, if they're just spraying water endlessly into a pit to try to put this thing out, like there's some damage that could be happening there too, right? We saw, the more importantly, a few years back when if you guys can remember, when the Grand Californian Hotel caught on fire, right? The whole entire lobby of the Grand Californian Hotel, for the most part, was completely destroyed. Like everything in the lobby was destroyed. But it wasn't even really necessarily because of the fire. Sure, there was some smoke damage to the roof and like the really expensive chandeliers and stuff. And of course, the Christmas tree was a full loss at that point. That what caught fire. But the real damage was when the sprinkler system turned on in the hotel, and it just buckled all the wood floor and the whole entire lobby. Plus, the tree sits on top of custom made carpet. So that's, the real damage came from all the water to put the fire out. And so I think that's the issue that we'll see here, is like the real damage probably came from the leaking fluid from the dragon, as well as all the water they used to put the fire out. That is probably where we're going to see a lot of damage from this. That might affect how the show continues forward. Like I said, we've had multiple versions of the B mode when there's no dragon available, because the dragon has many times where it hasn't been available during a show for whatever reason. Maybe it can't get up all the way with the lift, or maybe they're having technical difficulties. So, there was even a while too when Fantasmic first came back. I think even on the first showings where it wasn't spraying fire out.
It didn't work.
It did spray the fluid, but the fire didn't light.
No.
So it's always kind of been hit or miss sometimes.
I know. I was talking to somebody today, just like another guest, and it was just one of those things like something was bound to happen. It's been opening date was 1992. Something's just bound to happen, and it finally did. And most importantly, Disneyland got to this quickly, and like I said, the most important part, nobody was hurt. I don't know about smoke inhalation. I could imagine that might have been an issue too, because it was horribly smoked. I don't know if I have. Let me see.
All your videos.
Yeah, I think it's still on my Instagram. Give me a second, everybody.
There's that one.
Yeah, these are disappearing.
This one is pretty good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Let me show you guys. And this is a video from Skit ZZ.
Right.
What the hell?
Hold on. On the side also, it's on the side of his mouth on fire, and I'm like, oh, that ain't right.
What the hell?
Damn.
Yeah, and that's like a lot of plastic and chemicals burning too. So that, like you said, the smoke inhalation is probably what they were trying to evacuate everyone out of the area for their safety rather than the fire safety, because that smoke at any moment could have blown in any direction, right? And could have been a real big issue, which is why they really, shout out to all the cast members who really, from what I could tell from a lot of the guests that were there that messaged me, they evacuated the areas pretty fast, and stayed calm and got the guests out of these areas around it. I'm guessing probably all of like Rivers of America and all those attractions around it were shut off, because like I said, that smoke could take a change and blow, and then that's like some toxic stuff in that smoke, and can cause some real problems for a lot of people. So all in all, happy that no one got hurt, that there was no injuries to any cast or performers, but we don't know the true extensive damage that have happened yet to the show, or when it's going to return. So I think this time, we're lucky other things are still working, right? Like I was able to ride the Mark Twain today, no issues. Guests still aren't on Tom Sawyer's Island, at least when I was there earlier today. It's now, 3:45 in the afternoon. I don't know if it's open now, but when I was there, they kind of indicated that it wasn't going to open. So my guess is it's probably not going to open today. So who knows when that's going to reopen. So there's a few things that are affected by it, of course.
Yeah. So somebody that did have the video of like just the incident occurring right here, Theme Park Detective. If you guys want to see that, like just the entirety of the whole, he's the one that posted it. So I just wanted to put him right here, Theme Park Detective. Okay. I think with Fantasmic, I think that is it. Or any closing thoughts about the Fantasmic incident? Or
No, I
ready to
just
move
shared
on?
kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
Disneyland. They announced that freaking Oogie Boogie's coming back, Danny.
But they didn't give us dates.
How do you not give us dates? What's up with that? Oogie Boogie's coming, everybody, but no dates for you. So it sucks for you.
Yeah, like Walt Disney World
why?
got their dates, they got pricing, and like we can. And Disney always does this. They like hold it back to like the last minute to tell us the dates. And this was like a struggle for us last year because we had D23 Expo, we had Halloween Horror Nights. We were trying to plan all this stuff, and like they didn't tell us until way too late. And then when they did, Mondo was like, I'm not going to D23 Expo opening weekend Oogie Boogie Bash.
Even though I had tickets to all that stuff. Hey, horror nights was priority for me last year.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to see all the outfits and all that? Let me go to my Instagram because I have it there. They actually unveiled what the outfits are going to look like for Halloween at Disneyland side. It was kind of weird because they were like, hey, Disneyland's going to be, or Halloween's coming back at Oogie Boogie. And then they put this picture, which is at Disneyland. For a quick second, I was like, Mickey's Halloween party coming back to...
I kind of got that vibe too.
Coming back to Disneyland? The answer is no. It's not coming back to Disneyland. These are just new outfits. I love these outfits. I can't wait to see the Donald, Goofy, those iterations. The other...
Yeah. I think these outfits are great. This is a really cool, like, you know, we always see purple and orange for Halloween. So
every year.
Yeah, it's really cool to see a new color combination. I love this forest green, kind of like teal color going on, and like the burnt orange. It's a good indicator that the merch usually matches their outfits a lot. So, and we saw some of the merch too in the post from Disney. And some of it did look really good. So that means I think they're going to have some pretty good stuff to choose for Halloween. So I'm excited.
I'm excited for Halloween. It's crazy that Disneyland 2 is taking an importance so much now to halfway to Halloween. They're literally posting things every day.
Yeah.
Of this halfway to Halloween stuff.
Yeah, and Walt Disney World's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, theirs starts in August. Traditionally we don't.
Theirs starts in June.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Traditionally, we don't start that early. Last time we started on D23 weekend, which was September 11th weekend. So that's kind of around when Oogie Boogie starts. So
damn, they're like 2 weeks before us. Halloween. Dude, Walt Disney World, I've always wanted to do one on opening day, Halloween, but it's like 100 degrees and it's straight August, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just August Halloween. It's like, is it even Halloween? Is it too early? I guess not. They'd be selling out like crazy in Florida. We got Brian with the super chat. Does the suspension of pyro mean no pyro for Star Wars Night fireworks, which is in 2 weeks? Fire it up. No, Scott Gustin, he reported, it's just for right now, it was going to be suspension of pyro on the Maleficent parade float. Originally, how the statement from Disneyland read, it did seem like pyro effects, like even the ones at the castle, were those going to even happen for Wondrous Journey? And I think even World of Color has a lot of pyro, but they've updated the statement. It's just the parade float from Walt Disney World. Yeah, we need the pyro for fireworks.
Yeah, Gina Marie brings up a good point. She said D23 and Oogie Boogie were so hot. Do you remember how hot they were last year, Mondo?
Dude,
remember the D23 night at Oogie Boogie Bash? How it was like 80% humidity here. I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy that I'm not going there.
Mystery Bay was at Oogie Boogie that day. It was.
Were you struggling?
I was like, "Where's the water?" I did not find water.
I remember Noah was full Ursula, just sweating it away. Like there was no way. It was just like it was too humid. Yeah. If we get an August Halloween like Walt Disney World, that'd be crazy. That'll be crazy. Melissa celebrating 6 months of membership. 5 bars, Melissa. Meanwhile, TDR is thriving with the 40th anniversary celebration while we have sad news at Disneyland Resort. Transport me to Tokyo, and I'll go ham on the merch. What is she talking about? What is this? 40th anniversary?
Yeah, Tokyo Disney Resort has just kicked off their 40th anniversary. Remember we saw that parade with all the colors?
Oh.
Remember that?
Let me see. I think she sent me a post. Let me see if I could click into it. Is it this one? Is this Hong Kong Disney? Huh. Dude, so one thing, Melissa sent me this post on Instagram. They got Duffy. They're like, Mickey Mouse, hit the road, Jack. They got a Duffy at their entrance.
Yeah.
Is that normal out there? Or that has to be new?
That's new.
I don't remember Duffy anywhere at any entrance Disney-wise. It's always Mickey, right? Am I tripping? But Duffy in Disney Japan or Hong Kong, like, he's just like on another level. Duffy really doesn't have that hype here in the States. But, man, that's crazy. No freaking Mickey there. Let me see. Just reading. Disney World has so many dates for their Halloween shows, so many days. I'm gonna try to go. What was the pricing? Do you remember? Was it crazy expensive?
No, I don't. I mean, I think they had some nights that went up as high as $199. But some nights were low, like $120 or something.
Okay,
yeah.
Damn. I paid $212 for the Christmas After Dark event, so I could see those prices being up there. Let me see. Happy Sunday. What's up, Regari? Let's see. Oogie Boogie humidity over by Grizzly River Run was horrible with all that water. Yeah, dude, it's going to be crazy.
That's another thing, too, bringing that up. I was talking about that today when I was there filming stuff for today for this week's video coming up. Is essentially, with Fantasmic, with Splash Mountain closing on May 30th, right? That's right, right after the summer season kicks off officially and the hot season begins, right? But not only that, there's no other water attractions inside Disneyland for the most part. I mean, I don't know if you technically count the splashdown on Matterhorn as like a water effect. You can kind of maybe get wet on Pirates of the Caribbean sometimes. But other than that, the only other true water effects in Disneyland are going to be in Toontown, that fountain the kids can splash in. And then, of course, if we see the opening of Donald's Splash Pad, that, when we were there on opening day, cast members kind of hinted to us that the Donald Splash Zone would open up in May. We're kind of coming up on that. So if they kind of open that around like Toontown might be the only place you can get to cool off, unless you're going to go over to DCA. But man, what are we predicting?
Where do you cool off now, Danny? Big Thunder Mountain?
I was gonna say, what are we predicting for the waits at Grizzly River Run without Splash Mountain?
Dude, I don't think Disneyland's ready for no Fantasmic, no Splash Mountain. Kind of the nighttime spectacular now is Wondrous Journey carrying the load. Now that no Fantasmic, the crowd situation I feel like might be rough. Is there any like other rides that might go down for refurbishment anytime soon? Because we had Big Thunder go down, Matterhorn just went down recently. I don't know. I don't know if what's one ride that hasn't had downtime? At least not that I can remember anytime recently. Rise of the Resistance. Does that have a refurb schedule? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, all I want to say, they do a good job. I never hear Rise of the Resistance is going to be down for 2 weeks or something. You never hear that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I got a Venmo super chat.
Skull Style, thank you. All the fire memory we gave away. Mario Kart popcorn bucket. Skull Style is the winner. She confirmed she received it.
I think you got another one too.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to hit that. Hold Also, too, real quick, Dave, all the Fire members, after this live, we'll do another live where it's just members only. So all the people that are members, thank you so much. Your guys' support means the world. 5 Fires.
And if you want to be a member, hit the join button.
Join button.
And you can use all those cool emojis. So I got a Venmo super chat from Kaylee who says, what are your thoughts on a 2000s throwback night at DCA? I know we tweeted about it, But do you have any more thoughts? I think it'd be a cool idea incorporating elements of DCA 1.0. So I'm glad you brought that up, Kaylee, because I actually thought about it and I was talking to Mondo about it. Originally, I really wanted to do a 90s and 2000s night where like half the park was split. So there's 90s night on one side and 2000s night on the other. And you can kind of, dress up for whatever one you wanted. But my new ultimate After Dark event, which I think would just pop off and sell tons, is really based off of kind of these Be Our Guest events like Chris, who's a DJ for. But I think they should do Disney Channel night. And it's just early 2000s Disney Channel stuff. You got like
Johnny Tsunami. You have Brink. You have like Brink photo opportunities. You have
motocross.
But yeah, you've got High School Musical photo ops and maybe like a little show.
Is Even Stevens?
Hannah Montana, Even Stevens, like just a night of that. All the Disney Channel stars music from like the Cheetah Girls.
Lizzie McGuire, right?
Xenon.
Yeah, all that stuff.
They could do all that and just do a totally fire After Dark event, and it would just sell out immediately. They wouldn't have to try. They wouldn't have to try at all.
You think?
And they could even do a photo op where you hold the wand and do the like dun 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 dun.
Do you think it would work? I want to ask everybody. Do you think an event like that would work?
Absolutely.
I would be there day one. We're not even thinking about it.
I'd probably buy more than one night.
Yeah, dude. I feel, and then just the music alone. Like if they play the movies or the show theme songs, it'd be fire. 20 months membership from Darren. Let's go. My son was there Saturday evening for the fire show. He mentioned that many of the rides were breaking down through the day. Tough week for Disneyland. The guest I was talking to early in the morning said the same thing today too. That Thunder Mountain was closing. If I'm not mistaken, like obviously Indy always breaking down. That was like another ride. I can't think of what it was, but there's a lot of ride issues that have been happening, not just like yesterday or this week, but it's just been happening. You always got to remember Disneyland's old. It's just an old theme park. In reality, all this stuff's been here 20, 30, 50 years for some of this stuff. So yeah, man. And these theme parks are busier and more popular than they've ever been in this current iteration. I think at this point, Disneyland's kind of like, we are glad we have reservations because the demand for these summers that are coming soon, at least they could kind of carry the crowds, like spread it out as much as possible, because not having a water ride at Disneyland is gonna hurt, dude.
Yeah, it's
gonna hurt. Maybe they bump up the water effects in Matterhorn, like the very end, the splash. Maybe that splash gets a little bit bigger or something.
Let's see. We got Gifted. Hold on, I can't. Where are you at, Mondo?
All right, here.
Arlene.
And then let's see.
This one?
We're gonna go with it.
New member was gifted to Tyrone B received the membership.
Tyrone, shout out to Tyrone.
So Tyrone can stay after and do the members only live stream.
Let's go.
So let's see what other questions we got here. A lot of people said they would do it. Oh my God, a Zoog Disney. Xenon, Zach and Cody.
What was like the iconic show of 2000? Was there an iconic show?
Hannah Montana.
Yeah. Damn. That's crazy. I don't know if I remember Hannah Montana. I was more like Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, that
even
could be
Stevens.
That could be one too.
That was like, that's where I was. I watched a lot of that. I can't remember what other like real big Disney Channel show. I wonder what like the top Disney show even is these days. Like, where can I watch the Disney Channel these days? I don't even know.
The Disney Channel app?
Is there a Disney Channel app?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
you got to have your cable login on it.
So you probably need cable to get Disney Channel?
Yeah.
I almost feel like Disney Plus needs to just have a live stream feed of Disney Channel. Like Disney Channel should just be included in Disney Plus. I'm shocked that's not a thing. We got another gifted membership from Darren. Where are we at?
It was gifted to Dirty Dan.
Oh, damn. Getting a little dirty. Thank you so much, Darren Five Fires. Happy Sunday, man. Let me see. Phil of the Future.
Yep, Phil the Future.
Lizzie McGuire, Hannah Montana. Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yep, Selena Gomez.
I never saw that one. That's So Raven. I'm just seeing what other people are saying. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people are saying That's So Raven. I watched That's So Raven. I was a big fan of that show too. You know what they should just call it? Like Nostalgia Night, like Disney Channel Nostalgia Night. That'd be perfect. Be perfect. Other Disney news. Do you think there was a lot of talk? Like, if there's no Fantasmic, do they kind of move Magic Happens into kind of like a more night thing? That's what a lot of people were writing me today.
Potentially, or they could even
because Fantasmic's kind of built for that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know too what happened to the electrical parade, right? We don't know. Disney's done dual parade before. So
they've done dual parades?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they.
So we're talking like 4 parades in a day?
Yeah.
Dude.
So, but I don't know. Like they could bring back the electrical parade. I mean, I don't know where it's at right now, right? There were rumors that they were sending it back to Walt Disney World, but like, do we know it actually left? You know what I mean? Like maybe it's. And they never said it was only going to be back for the summer. So. They could rely on something like the electrical parade, but we have to take into consideration too. They have to hire, choreograph, train, and all that stuff. So that takes a long time. So who knows if it's not in the books already? Probably not realistic to assume. Maybe more realistic, like Mondo said, to shift the times for Magic Happens to a more nighttime showing.
The Disney executives right now are like, we need to call a hero. Give him a call, Danny. Dude, if Main Street Electrical Parade, I feel like people would forget about Fantasmic. I know that sounds kind of harsh right now, but dude, after this last return of Main Street Electrical Parade, it was crowded every single time. Every single time. You just cannot knock the nostalgia and just the fandom behind Main Street Electrical Parade. It's a perfect way to be like, don't look over there, because you're gonna see no Fantasmic and a Splash Mountain, all under construction. Even Tiana's Palace is right now all under construction. Dude, a lot of construction now. You think about it, of it. Look at this Main Street Electrical Parade. Yeah, I don't remember that many parades, Danny. What were the parades? Do you remember that were like 4 days?
I think
4 in one day?
I think it was the Parade of Dreams, and
Main Street?
Also, yeah, Main Street.
Wow, that is a lot of parade, dude. That is bang for your buck, and fireworks, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Gio and Grace?
So another bit of news for Disneyland. We talked about it a little bit. The Matterhorn bobsleds now are officially closed, and they have a reopening date now for June 2nd. So June 2nd is the opening date for it. It's going to be closed for a few months. I was there today. They already had the water features turned off, and big sections of the mountain were removed around the water features. So, it's funny how like the water is like the worst part on the Matterhorn, like how much damage it does, right? Water is very damaging.
Water damages the worst.
Yeah, so like it's all the problems they seem to have are there. We have to remember too, the Matterhorn's like a lot of wood too. It's not just metal, right? It's like there's a ton of wood actually in there, because that was more what they used back in the day. So today what I could see, it was all like structural work. They had big holes in the Matterhorn where all the waterfalls are. All the waterfalls were off, and they had scaffolding being erected on all the water features on the Matterhorn. So I wouldn't necessarily say the ride is in need of a refurbishment. Probably, maybe, a good check on all the track and everything like that. But I would say probably the reason why it needs to refurb so regularly are the water features, are the issues structurally on the Matterhorn when with those features running like that. I mean, I think it's fine that Disney takes the time to close the attraction and get these things fixed, right? They could just shut off the water attraction, the water features, and then it wouldn't look the same. It wouldn't be the Matterhorn that we know, right? So I think the fact that they're making sure and taking the time to make it fix and be nice, that it's that says something, right? Because they're making it look the same and look good. So they're not taking the cheap way out. They're actually like fixing the issues with the Matterhorn, probably before they become major problems structurally. Because water damage can it can rot out wood.
It wrecks so much.
Yeah.
Dude. Water damage is horrible. And then from like the drying process too, like that wrecks things too.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to talk about next, Danny, I think somebody said also the Venmo super chat, or did you read that one already?
I did. I read that one.
Okay. Clyde's Hot Chicken. It got announced that it was coming to downtown Disney, and then it just opened. It was like, what? They opened it as like a food cart, kind of like you would see like the churro stands at downtown Disney, or like even like a sunglasses hut, like one of those. It just opened up as like a small stand of Clyde's Hot Chicken. I was like so surprised by that move. I thought it was gonna be like take over a location kind of thing, or even be a food truck. So that was really surprising by that.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a food truck, maybe in a more permanent style, or a restaurant even. I was very shocked to see it move into a stand. I don't no shade on any of these stands, right? Like no shade at all, because I really do like getting a Wetzel pretzel from them, and the California churro one has some really great churros. But just for me personally, like I've never trusted like the corn dog, the blue ribbon, whatever corn dog. I just feel like you can't really, there's not a lot of like food safety, I feel personally, that you can conduct on a small outdoor cart, especially when it gets to like high 90s in the summer, you know what I mean? And if we're dealing with like raw chicken that's being fried, I don't know. Like it just, for me, I don't know about it.
The early reports I've heard, somebody went, it was really dry, didn't like it, and it was like $22 or something. So that's just what I've heard. Yeah. I haven't been there. When I go, I'll give my review. I've never had Clyde's Hot Chicken.
Yeah. No shade on Clyde's. Like it could be good.
It could be good. I haven't had it yet.
I just personally, I'm not gonna. I just feel like with the amount of space they have, it feels like it's kind of a food safety concern for me anyway, at least.
We got Big Avocado, 22 months of membership. Let's go. Big Avocado says, do you think they'll do anything special for Disneyland's birthday, July 17th? Thanks, Mondo and Danny. Danny already does my answer.
They don't usually. And it seems like it changes every year what they do. Sometimes they have the mayor of Main Street come out with like all the characters, and they reread Walt's, or they play Walt's dedication speech, and then they do the little mayor of Main Street moment. Last year, they had all the characters come out with the Disneyland band, and they all kind of like did a little performance number with like a bunch of balloons and stuff right in front of the train station, and that was like a quick little moment for like 15 minutes maybe, and then the characters kind of all left, and that was it, and they don't really acknowledge it beyond that. It's not really an iconic year this year as far as like the number that it is. I think it's what is it? Is it 50, 60 or 70? No, it's 60.
68.
68 or 69?
These days.
I forget. 68 or 60. No, it's 68 because
1955.
Next year 69, and then 2025 is 70. So yeah, so it's 68. So it's not really a big number. So but they'll do something fun. They'll I'm sure have a little moment, but beyond that little moment in the morning, they're not going to really do anything. They might also have a pin or like
a cupcake
You'll
be lucky if you get a cupcake this year. Now, I always said Disneyland, I want to say like 2017, they went hard for Disneyland's birthday. I'm pretty sure it was 2017. And that year, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if this was a rumor, but they would say like, however old Disneyland is, that's how many characters they bring out. And it had to have been like 2017 or 2018. They brought a ton of characters. Where you were like, wow. Look, like, it was just insane how many characters were there. I don't think I did YouTube at that time. I just kind of did Instagram. So I don't really have a video. Maybe on my Instagram, like an old video, but it's hard to look back on that. But as time went on, it seemed like Disneyland stopped really caring about their birthday in a sense. They really only do the cavalcade and then the Walt speech and a cupcake, or a cupcake, cavalcade, and a speech. And then they do like confetti, like, you know what I mean? But that's kind of it. It doesn't really go beyond that. I always wish there was a fireworks show only on that specific date. You know, it doesn't have to be nothing fancy. It could just be a happy birthday to Disneyland. Because Disneyland's important to so many people. Like, it's just a special place.
Yeah. But other than that, there's not truly too much news at Disneyland that we haven't already discussed. So we mentioned Matterhorn going under refurbishment. The other thing that did happen too was the Starview Lounge, which is the DVC lounge, opened over at Star Wars Launch Bay. So if you're our DVC member, you can now go into the DVC member only lounge. You check in and go through the archway of the regular Launch Bay. And then you'll either go left if you're wanting to meet Darth Vader, because don't forget Darth Vader's still meeting there. Or you'll go right if you're a DVC member trying to go up to the lounge. And then they'll kind of check you in and you go up through the inside, actually, the way you used to when it was regular Launch Bay and or Interventions. And then you use the ramp to go down. So rather than making the guests walk up the ramp, you walk down the ramp, kind of how it was when it was Interventions. So it's kind of back to that again with this new Starview Lounge there over in Tomorrowland. And they do have places to sit down. Of course, it's air conditioned. They even have places to charge your phone at all the places. And then DVC members can enjoy some snacks complimentary, as well as like drinks and coffee. They have a Coca-Cola freestyle machine. So maybe kind of nice. You can bring your your reusable mug into the park, into the lounge, and just fill it with a freestyle Coke or ice. So
the lounge to me looked, I want to say temporary. I don't feel like that's going to be a thing there for a long time. I don't know where they would put a permanent lounge at Disneyland, or if that's even something they want to do. But I hope Launch Bay, this is not its fate, where it's just a freaking DVC lounge. Launch Bay was so much more than that in previous iterations, and there's so much space that could be made if Launch Bay was to disappear and be reimagined. But yeah, it is what it is. You're a DVC member, make it out there, get some free stuff. Anything else you want to talk about when it comes down to Disneyland?
No, for Disneyland, I think we covered most of it. If there are any other topics you guys want us to cover, feel free to include it in the comments below. But I think we can talk about Knott's now.
Yeah, let's talk about Knott's Berry Farm. So Knott's Berry Farm, Danny finally made his way out to Boysenberry Festival. And thank goodness that Knott's Berry Farm extended their Boysenberry Festival to May 7th.
Yes.
So you get a little bit more time. Yeah,
honestly, I felt like ambiance-wise, this was probably one of the better Boysenberry festivals. Like, I felt like the craft fair was way bigger than I have ever seen it. A lot more extensions to it, like over by the bottle house back there. They had kind of tables set up outside, not just in like the covered tents that they normally do. They had like stuff beyond it, which was kind of nice. It really made it feel like a craft fair rather than just kind of like these tents. So it was a little bit nice to see that change there. They had a lot of food options. We only tried a little bit from what we had, but I would say this year I wasn't too impressed, to be honest, with all of the Boysenberry options available that they had for the Boysenberry Festival this year. But there were some big hits for sure. I love that they're keeping around the Boysenberry meatballs.
So good.
Keeping that up. They put the Boysenberry meatballs this year on pizza. We've been talking about that for so many live streams. I finally got to try it. If you haven't seen the video yet, Mondo actually posted a video of our day at Boysenberry Festival on Five Fire's YouTube. So once this live's over, you can go watch that live stream. But Mondo, I feel like you said too that you didn't really feel like there was big hits this year when it came to food.
Yeah, a lot of misses for Boysenberry Festival. Maybe it has something to do with we tried new stuff. We were getting tricky with it. But even like a staple of Boysenberry Festival, which are the chicken wings, Boysenberry chicken wings. But this year it was a boysenberry. What was it again?
Yeah, so they had both chicken wings, but the way that you get them was different. So if you had a tasting card, which a lot of people did trying to get their tabs, right? The only option chicken wings wise for you were the sweet chili boysenberry chicken wings over at Spur's Chop House, which they've temporarily turned into kind of like a little festival area that had some like different options for festival food plus additional dining. So those aren't like the traditional boysenberry barbecue sauce wings that we normally would expect. At the
One
Boysenberry
fire.
Festival. They weren't, according to Mondo, they weren't good, and he told me not to even try them, so I didn't even try them. So he just kind of threw them away.
There's some times where you just got to be a good friend. Be like, Dad, you don't need these chicken wings.
But they did have the regular boysenberry barbecue chicken wings. Those were available at Boardwalk Barbecue over in the Boardwalk area. But those were only available as an actual meal. So it came with like sides and stuff over at Boardwalk Barbecue. It was for the Boysenberry Festival, so it was a festival item, but it wasn't included as something that you could use your tabs on. So if you had the tasting card for the Boysenberry Festival, you weren't able to use it at Boardwalk Barbecue for that item. And however, though, if you do have the meal plan, that was a meal plan eligible item. So,
I enjoyed the Boysenberry Festival meal plan options. I enjoyed those. Like the Boysenberry mustard was my favorite. Honestly, now that I've like looked back at it all. But the Boysenberry wings, if we were to get them from Boardwalk Barbecue, I could already tell you they're 5 fire. Especially if they're just the normal Boysenberry wings we get for this festival. They're always incredible. And Boardwalk Barbecue is always like one of my top places to eat. But yeah, the tab version of Boysenberry wings this year, it just did not hit. And a lot of people were telling me, like, why didn't you go back and get them? I was like, I was good. But the mudslide, delicious.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't doubt that I'd be buzzed as heck if I drank that whole thing.
Tanya Stefanian says, love Boysenberry Festival. Been there with my moms. I love Boysenberry smoothie. It's so good. I keep buying it and bringing it back home. It's so funny, Tanya, because we were talking about that yesterday, and I said, I can't believe that we still got this Boysenberry smoothie going on because we had that during the 2020 food festival events, and they've just brought it back for like every one.
That smoothie is fire.
So I think a lot of people agree with you on that. They all really enjoy it as well, too. We also got Stephanie. She says, oh, my God, Danny, I love your Avatar jersey. I'm wearing my Zuko shirt, coincidentally. So this is from Avatar The Last Airbender, not Steve Cameron's or his Avatar.
So much Avatar these days.
But this is the Nickelodeon Avatar. They're actually going to make it into a live series on Netflix. So but I got this at Box Lunch.
One thing to say, the pie eating contest never disappoints. It's always a crazy mess and a lot of fun. So if you still have time to go to Knott's Boysenberry Festival and they're doing the pie eating contest, which is at 4 for the most part, you got to check the schedule if it's different. But do not miss out on that. We got to see that. It was crazy.
Yeah,
those people go hard.
Our Knott's Adventure says the meal plan was definitely lacking in good meal plan choices this year. Yeah, I feel the same way. We actually used the meal plan yesterday. If you can believe it or not, Jen, it was my first time ever yesterday. Not only at the Boysenberry Festival this year, but at Prop Shop Pizzeria. Because every time I've come to Knott's since the Prop Shop has opened has been like during a festival time. And I just don't eat there because I'm eating like all the food that's special to the event. But this time there wasn't a lot of good meal plan options that were part of the festival. So we used it at Prop Shop and I actually got to try it for the first time. So
let people know, because I always claim how good Prop Shop Pizzeria is. And
yeah, I think honestly it was one of the best things that Knott's has added. The ambiance of like the amount of extra room they added for seating, the ability to just make your own pasta. The salads all look really, really good. Like better than any salad I've ever seen at Disneyland before.
They go hard at the salads in there.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are on the meal plan if you're a Knott's fan.
And if you get pizza, it comes with a small little salad. The pasta only comes by itself if you're doing the meal plan. But it was good. I did a little hack. I did half spaghetti, half like little round pasta shells. Mondo's like, I didn't know you could do half and half.
Yeah, he did half and half. It brought me back to the day where I was at In-N-Out and the person in front of me got both type of onions. And I had to ask the lady, I was like, what'd you get? And she's like, oh, I got both type of onions, raw and grilled. And I was like, really? changed my life. I've ordered my double cheeseburger with bow type onions for the rest of my life. Even Mystery Bay orders bow type onions.
Oh man.
How do you order? Do you like In-N-Out?
I love In-N-Out.
What's your order? Like how do you get your burger?
I get 3x1.
Oh shit.
So because I don't like a lot of cheese, so I just get 3 patties. No, 1 cheese. That's a 3x1. And then I get it lettuce wrapped. So because I know everyone's gonna like kill me in the comments, but like I think In-N-Out bread sucks.
No,
and when it like
and
when it like soaks up the sauce, it's just even worse. And to me, I just don't like. To me, like, why am I going to eat those carbs and those calories if it's not good? I'd rather just have the lettuce and focus on the In-N-Out meat, which is so good. So I'll get grilled onions sometimes if I'm feeling it. I used to get mustard fried, but I don't do that anymore.
I can't do mustard fried.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
a fan, dude.
just
3x1 fries mustard fried.
3x1 with a lettuce wrap, and I asked for the spread on the side so I can like put it in, rather than on it.
Danny is onto something because I remember one time my friend got a 3x3 and I was like, wow, I've never got a 3x3. So I got a 3x3 and eventually it was like, this is too much goddamn cheese.
It's too much cheese.
So the whole concept of 3x1, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get too much cheese on your In-N-Out burgers. Because I know a lot of people travel out here and they get In-N-Out for the first time. Yeah. So I just want to throw that out there.
Our Knott's Adventure says they just need to keep that smoothie all year. It really is good.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't. just to keep the thought of Boysenberry just fresh for the whole year. You know what I mean? Boysenberry smoothie all year long.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for those that were asking, I did try the Boysenberry pizza, meatball pizza. It was extremely good. We got it at Wagon Wheel Pizza because they do or potentially have it at Prop Shop Pizzeria, but you can't use your tab at that location. You can only use it at Wagon Wheel. So we used it there. Got the pizza. It's really good. If you've ever had like a barbecue chicken pizza before from like CPK or anything like that, it literally tastes exactly the same. It even has cilantro on it. It's just instead of chicken, they have the boysenberry meatballs, which is awesome. And then the barbecue sauce on the pizza that they use for the sauce is the boysenberry barbecue sauce rather than just like a normal barbecue sauce. So it makes it that much better. And I love Knott's pizza crust, and I just all around think it was a great option.
I love Knott's Pizza.
Yeah.
It's good. Knott's as a whole, there's not a lot going on right now. They're kind of in the process of bringing to life Fiesta Village, but a lot of stuff is closed off and still under major construction. The only real thing we could talk about, the pebbles from the ground of Fiesta Village. I don't know what was going on with those pebbles, but they were coming out of the ground, and there was like different colored pebbles throughout the whole Fiesta Village. Like there was red, blue, yellow. It was just pebbles everywhere.
Did you post a reel on it?
No.
Just
It's in my vlog I posted. Yeah, it's just crazy to see that because like Fiesta Village it's not open yet.
Yeah, so I'll show you right now. Let's see here, Fiesta Village artwork.
Someone said the carne asada pizza back during pandemic was fire. I don't think they've ever brought it back.
Yeah, so we could see here. How do I go? Let's go here to Mice Chat real quick. How do I make that so it goes? Yeah. I'll let you do it.
It's all good.
Haven't done it in a while.
It's at the bottom. And this is an article from Mice Chat.
Yeah, so
go here.
Essentially, they opened this part of the Fiesta Village, at least part of it anyway. So right here, on the right-hand side, we have La Revolucion, which has always been a ride at Fiesta Village at Knott's Berry Farm, but it had a different color scheme. It was like orange, red, and yellow. But then now it's kind of like got this whole really vibrant Mexican art color scheme to it that matches the rest of Fiesta Village. And you can see on the ground there, they actually have this colored cement. And so what they did to get this colored cement was they laid cement down and then they dumped in a bunch of broken colored glass into the cement to give the effect. And it looks really cool when like there's a lot of it in there and the sun's hitting it and stuff like that. And it adds the bright colors that they're really trying to go match the rest of the things. But the problem is I don't know, however they laid it, wasn't sealed correctly or what, but the glass was coming up everywhere. Every single colored section, the glass was just coming up. I mean, you were stepping on it. It sounded like you were walking in like a gravel parking lot, like where you just feel all those rocks underneath you. That's how it felt. There was literal chunks of glass everywhere. And I even saw a kid like fall down, and if they scrape up their knees in that glass, I feel like that's a safety hazard. Plus, they also had some tables set up for some of the dining that they did have in the area. And anytime anyone slid chairs, it pulled up more glass. So all the areas underneath the tables had like no glass left. There was big chunks completely gone. So it was just plain cement. It wasn't executed well, I will say. I mean, the vision for what they wanted to do here was really cool, but it just wasn't.
Just didn't work out.
How do I make it scroll?
Right here.
There we go. Let's see. I think that was, but they had a bunch of stuff not done yet. So the swinging pirate ship, the dragon swing, that was open with the new color scheme. The wave swings are open. La Revolucion is open. They had the new pavement and some new planters open already in that area. But Fiesta Dog still has a lot of work left to be done in that area.
Dragons.
They had there's the artwork right there.
Oh, it's right here.
There we go. Is this live right now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Right here. There we go.
Yeah, so you can see like there was big patches where the glass was just coming out, like it was no longer red, it was just like regular cement. And if once Mondo zooms in, you can see there's just little chunks of glass everywhere. It really became sort of a safety issue. So it just wasn't good. It wasn't like sealed correctly. But you can see when the sun hits it there in the video, it looks so good. So I get the effect they were trying to do right here. Look, there's chunks of it missing. So there's just regular cement showing.
And this is supposed to open like summer.
Yeah, so here's
we're not even there.
Let's go ahead and pause it here. So here's a look at the artwork right here. So we can see with Fiesta Village right here, we've got most of the stuff already open in the back that we were at. So La Revolucion on the right, all that cement with the glass in it there. But what we did notice when we were there is there was no visible work done at all on Montezuma's Revenge for the most part. I don't know what's going on in front of Jaguar and the Soul Spin on the right-hand side there. Jaguar is open during this, but like Jaguar hasn't received its fresh paint yet. And the courtyard from the perspective of over by Silver Bullet, which is outside the other side of Fiesta Village, looking into it, there was still exposed buildings with wood, like not even like stucco or anything on there. So I don't know. I feel like they are probably behind, just like Disneyland was.
Yeah, Disneyland was Toontown couldn't open on time.
Right. I mean,
because of all the weather.
We've had so much rain, so it makes sense that they're behind, right? It's not like Knott's is dropping the ball kind of thing. I mean, what can they really do with the weather? Like they weren't really dealt the best deck of cards when it came to that. So it makes sense that it might be delayed. But from everyone that we've talked to that has to deal with Knott's, they said they're still on target for just a general opening of Fiesta Village.
Not everything might be there.
Yeah, in May. So they said maybe don't expect Montezuma's Revenge. And I think Mondo got some inside information on that. That it's really probably, maybe we don't even expect it this year.
Yeah, Jen was saying right here, our Knott's Adventure, if they have a media event May 25th, you think they're going to get everything done by then? It seems like they have so much to do.
No,
I think the answer is no.
Yeah. It sounds like, Jen, they may have like Fiesta Dog open, La Papa Loca, whatever that new location is going to be, and the courtyard. But a lot of other things will be under construction still. And now with this whole glass thing, like we weren't the only ones to notice it. They actually had groups of people there looking at it that were from Knott's, that were looking at how much of the glass was missing, how it was all over the place. It just
sucks to do that project to then be like, wow, this is not working.
Right.
It's almost like they had to start over.
Yeah. So
I don't know what else to do.
They may have to wall it off and just redo it again.
Yeah.
So who knows what they have to do there,
and they're still refurbing I think it's called Soul Spin or something, the other ride that like flips you
Soul
upside
Spin,
down.
yeah.
And it's just a dirt field still. All that Fiesta Village around Jaguar and in front of Montezuma, around the dancing stage in La Cantina is dirt. I personally don't think this is a on target schedule of May 25th, if that was even a date. I think they're going to open Fiesta Village, and as time goes on, they'll keep completing projects. And maybe by like the end of summer, going into Halloween, is when Fiesta Village is done. I don't expect any like entertainment coming to the Fiesta Village stage or anything. I don't know. It's just a lot of work. There's a big refurb. I was still shocked that they said summer 2023. I'm still shocked by that. We're in freaking April, about to go into May.
Yeah,
there's no time. I think
like Jen was saying, I don't think that they're gonna have everything done. I think they'll have a media event for like the new courtyard area, because it's gonna be like the highlight of like the prettiest area of it, right? So they'll have that up, and maybe some new food locations, like a new Fiesta Dog and that new burrito location to showcase to the media. But they'll have they'll maybe say weather delays for Montezuma, and maybe even like the back half where Soul Spin's at. I don't know. There seems like there's still a lot of work left to be done, but I could see them still making the May timeline for some of the major buildings at least.
Yeah, so. I don't know about the new restaurants and all that. Like, to be done in a month, that is lightning fast. One thing I do want to say, and I've said it in the vlog, but I want to say it here on Speculation Sunday. We have word that the part is completed and on the way from who knows where to Knott's for Accelerator. So sometime in the near future, very soon, Accelerator will come back to life. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Knott's will make a big deal out of it, or if they're just like, hey, Accelerator's opening Friday. I don't know, but I know there's a lot of fans who it's just like it hurts them to see Accelerator just not running, especially after a new paint job. It's going to be open sometime soon. Just put it that way.
Yeah. So it'll be nice if Knott's is able to get Accelerator open for the summer season. That's perfect, right? They need that extra capacity. They need people waiting in that line to kind of remove some of the crowds. So Accelerator will be great to have back for the summer. And if the rumors are true and they've got this part on the way, then that's all we can ask for to get this open. There's still a lot wrapping up in Knott's. They got the hotel construction. Jen was just saying here, at least the hotel's still on schedule.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. And then, of course, right after the Boysenberry Festival ends on May 7th, we're headed right into the summer season, including Summer Nights and Ghost Town Alive. I love this whole the thing that they did last year, where they had Summer Nights during the day and then Ghost Town Alive during the day and then Summer Nights at night, because it's like two different events. It's
like two after dark events. Mm-hmm. That's how it feels, because they're so unique for this time period. It's just awesome. I'm very excited. I don't know if there's like a entertainment schedule yet for Summer Nights or whatever, but once we get that information, we'll cover it for sure. Closing thoughts on Knott's?
Man, I'm excited to see. Oh, before we go real quick, we also saw some construction already starting on the maze that's replacing Pumpkin Eater behind Camp Snoopy. They were well underway with bringing in all the wood and starting construction just behind those doors outside the main entrance. So they're working on something there. And then also, we also got confirmation that the Boardwalk Ballroom will not be involved in any of the summer activities this year, because they've already started construction on the maze inside there, replacing Dark Ride. So both of the mazes that retired last season, Dark Ride and Pumpkin Eater, are having their replacements well underway already. I haven't even personally been over to the Accelerator side to see if they're bringing
I haven't yet.
I would imagine they could just leave up
Mesmer,
right? Yeah. They don't have to really take stuff down, kind of like they did with Pumpkin Eater for a while. But we're excited to see what takes place at Dark Ride, because that's going to be potentially maybe that maze that's paying homage to like the mazes of the past, since it is Knott's 50th anniversary for Scary Farm.
Whatever the hell that is.
And the maze, I'm excited to see the maze that replaces Pumpkin Eater, because it seems like they brought a ton of wood into that area to start construction. But not only that Pumpkin Eater space is really big. That's a long maze. So and I feel like they'll spend a little bit more money on that maze because of the ability for them to just be able to keep a lot of it up year round. They don't have to take it down. So that'll be another fun fun maze to see that they put in there. But who knows? People are saying we might just get 2 mazes, but this is the 50th. Maybe we get 3 mazes.
They gotta go big.
So
we'll see. We'll see when Not Scary Farm starts doing announcements. Before we go into Universal Studios Hollywood, I forgot to ask Danny, what were your thoughts on Throwback Night? Because that was a thing that it feels like so long ago now. But Throwback Night, After Dark event, Tuesday, Thursday. And I covered it. You got to see a lot of the event too, like just in general. From an outside perspective, what did you think? Because it was different. This was a different event.
I really thought it looked like a fun time for those that want to do After Dark events, but I just justified it like unless they're offering something really fun and unique like a 90s night or a 2000s night or an 80s night. To me, Throwback Night was the concept of it was cool, but when I saw it, there just wasn't, to me, a lot of things that would entice me to like pay the money to do that event again if I had done it. Sure, the Tomorrowland couple meet and greet was really awesome. Same with seeing the banner of Star Wars Launch Bay be covered with the Carousel of Progress and having the couple from Carousel of Progress there.
Mother and father.
But that was like
what about tomorrow?
Yeah, they had like a 3-hour wait. So like that's like your whole party event for 4 hours. Like, are people really going to spend their whole time like doing that? So, I feel like there needs to be like some really cool limited edition merch, like more than just a shirt that has a logo slapped on it that says Throwback Night. You know what I mean? They got to do like cool, fun things. Like if you're going to do a 90s night, like work with McDonald's and make McDonald's fries and bring McDonald's fries back like they used to sell them in the park. Like focus on, if it's a throwback night, like focus on throwing back to the olden days of Disneyland. So I think for people that were traveling or that are not people that pay to go very often with like an annual pass, Throwback Night was great. You get low waits on a lot of the lines.
Yep. Low weights in the food, merch.
Yeah, food, stuff like that. But if you're trying to do like specific stuff, like to me, it didn't really seem like I would want to do it. I pay $1,600 for an annual pass. I don't.
It hurts every time you say it.
$1,600 for an annual pass. I don't have the money to keep spending $150, $200, $150 this night, $180 for Oogie Boogie Bash, $140 for Pride Night or whatever. Like
Star Wars nights,
Star Wars
150s,
night,
180s.
Like that's it adds up. And if you have a family, oh my gosh, like beyond, that's like so much money. So, I think choosing 1 or 2 After Dark events, if that's really your thing. I'm not really a person that like likes to dress up. So I know the people that love to dress up, like this is totally their thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like if that's something that you like, because you can't dress up normally going to Disneyland, right? But you can at these events. That's what's fun. I think Oogie Boogie Bash is fun for that reason. And for me, I choose to only pay for Oogie Boogie Bash moving forward, unless there's just something totally amazing that they've dropped. But Star Wars Night, to me on paper, looked exactly the same as it was going to be last year. And although I had a really fun time at Star Wars Night, I don't necessarily feel the need to pay to do it again. I know. Unless there's something new. So.
And as of right now, which, if I'm not mistaken, Star Wars Night's May 2nd, I think, the first one. We don't know anything really.
I want to talk about the Dumbo too real quick. The Dumbo, people were freaking out about this Dumbo. Mondo said it had like a 3-hour wait. Do people know that this Dumbo's like not new?
It wasn't a 3-hour wait. It just had a lot of zigzags.
Yeah, like we've had this Dumbo for a while.
They try to make a concept of this is like a Oogie Boogie Bash type of meet and greet where you kind of do like a hit it and quit it selfie.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
We've had this Dumbo. Like this Dumbo was on a parade float. This exact costume Dumbo was on a parade float for years and years and years and years and years, with the little winky eye. This is an old costume, so it makes sense that they brought it back for Throwback Night. But people were like hyping it up like it was something that's never been here before, and I'm like, dude, this is an old costume. Like, I don't understand why this is like the coolest thing that's ever happened before.
I will say, I think Dumbo was the most hyped. Of
beyond
every character. People were pushing and like, come on, I'm getting my photo. and the walkways it was just nuts. That Dumbo entrance area was just crazy. I was like, wow. The last time I seen hype like that for a character was Mando. And then before that, I can't really think of a character when it debuted. Like people just went crazy. But yeah, Dumbo. Out of all the characters, I didn't think it was going to be Dumbo bringing the hype.
I didn't either.
Oh yeah, Pete. Pete brought the hype like that.
Pete brought the hype. That was cool though, because that was something that we've never had here at Disneyland. So.
Does Pete still demand crowds like that, or it's just another character out there?
In all honesty, Mondo, I haven't even seen Pete out again.
I haven't seen Pete at all. That was never out. I don't know. I wish Disneyland would put it back on schedule. Pete's going to be out at 3. Mickey's out at 4:30. You know, all that stuff. I would imagine guests would appreciate that. And I know a lot of people always hit me with well, what about if they don't show up? People are going to be set. It happens. It happens. I feel like having characters on schedule when you can meet them is like super beneficial to whatever guest is coming that day. It helps you plan, and everybody likes to plan.
Yeah. But overall, I'd say Throwback Night looked really fun. For those that like don't get to go to Disneyland very often, and I think that would have been like if you haven't been in a while and you got to see all that like throwback stuff, I think that would have been really fun. So was it something that I wanted to pay for? No, but I didn't think it was a bad event anyway, right? They had fun things to do.
Every time I do these after dark events, I always have the same thought: why aren't these characters out in general? You know, shout out to Kaylee. She's the one who wants the characters. Why isn't the big bad wolf just out with the 3 little pigs? I don't get it. Last time I seen the big bad wolf, he was at freaking Silly Symphony Swings randomly. Do you remember that? It was like, what the heck? Why is he out there? All right, let's move on to Universal Studios Hollywood. Not a lot to talk about, but let's do it. So, Universal Studios Hollywood, I got a chance to go out there, and let me tell you, the pack meter was at a 3 out of 10, Danny. It's back to being nice, at least on a weekday. I saw the schedule or the times right now being Sunday. I think Mario Kart was 150, and everything else is like 60 minutes or more. So the weekends are still crazy at Universal, but things are a lot calmer now. I get asked a lot, if I go to Universal, can I get a Toadstool? It almost seems like Toadstool is just as important or more important than Mario Kart. You have to still go, in my opinion, an hour before the park opens to get a reservation for Toadstool. And then it would just lead you into having a good day because you're in the park right at opening to do the Power Band games, buy merch, get on Mario Kart with a reasonable time, and at the same time get a reservation to eat there. Because lots of times the park's been only open 40 minutes. You could get a reservation for Toadstool for like 5 or 6 o'clock at night. Like it's that dirty of a time window. So yeah, I still really recommend going very early. I had a chance to check out the Halloween Horror Nights, Danny. They're doing big facades.
Yeah,
everything is big.
The one with all the windows on it.
Dude,
can you pull that up?
Yeah, I gotta bring that up. Just from this facade, I still can't make out or even try to guess what that is. Obviously, it's a building. It looks like it's falling apart on the right side, or I guess the left side here. But the facade scale, you could just tell that this year there's a good budget. There's a big budget coming to Halloween Horror Nights this year.
Or maybe they're just tired of being compared to Orlando with our poster facades.
Yeah. Well, hey, Universal is definitely putting the effort to be on the same level, if not go beyond whatever the heck they do over there at Universal Orlando. Do you have any guesses, Danny? What the heck this could be?
Not a clue. The only thing I could think of is the windows would mean that it's Chucky, because they'd have all the puppets in the of Chucky in the different windows when they have like an actor up in there.
Never know.
So that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, that's truly the only maze we know we're getting, right?
Yeah, still Chucky
with a maybe of Megan.
Yeah, Megan. I guess, and I kept trying to find what does Megan's house look like? You know, from the movie. I haven't watched. I watched that movie one time, I was like, I'm not watching that again. So I looked up on the internet to try to find Megan House. There was nothing. Nothing came up. But we'll see. We'll see. I do hope, though, like it started last year. Hopefully we keep getting whatever was badass in Orlando. Hopefully it keeps coming this way. Like Graveyard Games was one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the one that like, hey, that one of these houses could be Graveyard Games for all
If we ever get Graveyard Games or Yeti, that'd be perfect. Those are such amazing mazes on the level of Scarecrow like we had last season.
Yeah.
Just completely awesome storylines, very immersive sets, at least the way that Orlando did it. So it'd be nice to see something like that come over here. A little bit more cohesion with like the way we do it versus Orlando, because I feel like they have so many original storylines in their mazes, and we really rely heavily a lot on franchises, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, they did a great job with the weekend maze for sure.
And a big rumor I've heard, Michael Myers, he's taking a break. He's taking a break this year. That's what I've heard.
We need to give him a break.
As weird as that sounds to say.
We need to give him a break. He's been a little overtime lately.
Yeah, Frankenstein and Michael Myers have been putting in work at Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. Anything you want to talk about Universal? There wasn't much.
There wasn't much. No, I was just, for me, I'm looking forward to Horror Nights mainly the most, and I feel like with Nintendo right now, like they're full steam ahead with like all the plans they've got in the back end we don't know about, right? I feel like they just saw the potential for this. I mean, we're seeing people on social media that are big time celebrities that don't ever post about going to theme parks at all, like musical artists and TV celebrities from posting movies, about going to Super Nintendo World and how much fun it is. I think the last one I saw was Zed, the big famous DJ. So like, they're bringing all this attention with all their millions of followers to Super Nintendo World. The people that don't know what was going on there or that it's even open, I feel like they're just going to continue to explode with this. I mean, this is another Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Not to mention that too, but like, with HBO Max, turning into Max, whatever the heck the new series is going to be called, or the new streaming platform, they announced that new Harry Potter show that's coming out, that's going to be 10 years worth of television shows covering all 7 books in much further detail than the movies ever did.
Insane.
I feel like that could bring on a whole new generation of Harry Potter fans, which could in turn only help Universal Studios, right? For all the stuff they have planned. We already have 2 versions of Wizarding World in Orlando. We have our version. We've got it in Japan's version. And they are even doing another version in Epic Universe for potentially
Fantastic
Beasts, or just continuation Harry Potter. We don't really know yet kind of what's going in there. But I feel like that alone, like Universal's looking in a good spot right now.
Universal, if they ever needed confirmation to expand the theme park, like come on, it's all the writing is on the wall now. I feel like it's very obvious that expanding the theme park is just like a good move for money, capacity, just the future of the theme park. We're about to have Super Mario Bros. Hit $1 billion sometime soon. I think I crossed like 800 million. And this movie hasn't been released in certain areas, like Japan is one of the main markets. It hasn't been released there yet. So yeah, 1 billion is like it's gonna happen. And they've already confirmed too that there is more Nintendo movies coming. It doesn't say what or where they're gonna take things. The other thing too, like you're saying about Max and Harry Potter, dude, this is one thing I was saying recently. Universal, their properties that are at theme park are like thriving. They're alive. Super Nintendo World, Minions keeps coming. What is it called? What the heck?
Someone's shooting fireworks off over here.
Wondrous Journey. The Harry Potter franchise. I don't know if Secret Life of Pets will keep going. We'll see how that goes. But Jurassic World, Transformers is about to have another movie. Like when I think of Disney, are there properties, still kind of thriving and coming to life? I guess Little Mermaid is going to happen soon. Guardians is going to happen soon. I don't know. Like, it's just I guess different theme parks. I'm not going to relate it right now, but Universal properties that they have in the theme park, their studios are very invested in the future of them. Like they want to take these projects into the 2030s and 40s. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. We do have a member message from Joanna Cortez. Did you read that one already?
Right here.
Oh, okay. It says, "Hi, Mondo and Danny. I was at Universal yesterday and was sold out. I arrived at 3 p.m. Didn't seem like the crowds were bad at all. Thanks for all you do." Wow.
Thank you, Joanna.
So she was on a sold out ticket day.
Another sold out day. Insane. Universal's just on an incredible streak.
So I had some coworkers that actually went to
5 bars, Joanna.
Super Nintendo World for the first time. I told them about the early entry, but unfortunately the day they went was sold out already. But they got there at rope drop, and they were able to do the ride and power up band stuff like before 10. And then they got a return time for Toadstool at 3:30, but they ended up not going to it because they were doing something else when it happened. Mm-hmm. But they got to do all 3 things and they didn't pay for early entry.
Yeah.
So it's possible if you rope drop still.
You have to rope drop. I know nobody wants to hear that. You have to wake up early, but it's just the way it goes. It's the way it goes. Mm-hmm. We got Andrew Bowmania, but thank you, Joanna. Andrew Bowman. I love you. Happy Speculation Sunday. Before we get out of here, I just want to end this live stream with like a Q&A. Do you guys have any topics, questions, stuff that we didn't hit that you want us to talk about? And then just closing thoughts from you too, Danny. Just closing thoughts on everything. Thank you, Bowman.
For the Disneyland Resort anyway, there's a lot to keep an eye on, right? That especially I was covering in the last update I was doing over at the hotels. We're going to see the hotel construction really take a turn, right? They have already adjusted some of the construction walls around that new tower there, the villas of the Design Hotel. We have to remember their pool complex, which sits behind that tower, is going to connect with the current pool complex. So we're going to see fences really change because they're going to have to mold those together and make them flow into each other in a way. So right now, if you're staying in the Frontier Tower at the Design Hotel, you have to walk around the backside just to get into the tower. So a little bit of changing the walls there to kind of fit things. So a lot of things are still coming underway. We're finally seeing too some construction movement over at the Dirt Pit inside Disneyland, downtown Disney. We're seeing Catal restaurant be closed, Paseo, all that kind of stuff. So much stuff happening that we can keep an eye on as it continues to evolve over the summer season. But I think more importantly, in summer, I think the thing that's going to be the most iconic thing to watch is how Tiana's Bayou Adventure shapes up. It's really going to change the entire way that Critter Country feels in that whole corner. We still don't even know what's going to happen to the rest of Critter Country. Is Winnie the Pooh still going to be open and available during this construction, or are they going to have to close it off based on the work that they need to do? There's so many things unanswered that we still don't know yet, like the Briar Patch shop, the photo shop at the end of Splash Mountain, all the scenery around Critter Country that still has references to the Song of the South characters, like Bear Fox, Bear Rabbit, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot that needs to change. Plus, the ride itself, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, adds with it so many foliage and trees that don't exist in Critter Country right now because they're trying to bring the look and feel of the bayou and not necessarily like a wooden forest that has like pine trees and stuff, right? So we're seeing like big mossy trees being added to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. The iconic treetop of Splash Mountain will be completely removed.
It's going to be crazy.
And it's going to forever change the skyline of Disneyland. Like, you're not going to see that big mountain peak of Splash Mountain. It's going to be like a soft hilltop that's, an abandoned salt mine, which is the scenery for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. At some point too this year, we're going to see Tiana's Palace restaurant open up. So the storyline is just going to unfold, and we're going to see a lot of that change taking place at Disneyland as they continue to have, the days go on here. Over at Disneyland, Disney California Adventure 2, we've got Probably the Cerveceria opening up over at San Francisco Square, probably within the summer season.
I was gonna say, since everything transpired with Fantasmic and the burning, I feel like Disney they're in right now as you speak, ready to drop some fire news to move on from that subject. Disneyland always does that, where something like this occurs. I feel like Small World happened, and they were like, well, look at World of Colors coming back. It was like something. Just forget about that. Think about this. On to the next thing. I feel like Monday or Tuesday, we got some big news coming from, I don't know what, Treehouse? Is it going to be Cerveceria date and all that? More details? Cuisine menu? I don't know. I feel like or they just go, you know what? Oogie Boogie Bash tickets for sale. Boom. Fantastic forgotten. It's like something. I feel like something's going to be coming. Melissa really wants us to check out the Tokyo clip. I brought it up right now. I just want to showcase it. I won't play the music, but this is their 40th anniversary. This is my first time seeing it.
Disney's Harmony and Color Parade, which is an extremely vibrant parade as far as color scheme is concerned.
And tons of character.
Yeah, Zootopia. They got Up.
And this parade's brand new to
Tokyo Disney.
Tokyo Disney. Tokyo Disney just goes hard. A simple answer. Just goes hard. Wow, they got Pocahontas. Jeez
man.
Louise. I was like going pretty crazy over this parade, and everybody was like, but you have Magic Happens. Magic Happens is so much better. And I'm like I don't want to compare them. I just want to look at this individually. This parade has like everything I love. All these property. Look at that. Wow, dude. And the scale of this is insane. I hope one day I could watch this in person because it'd probably be insane. And just Tokyo Disney in general. They just, their theme park is so crazy. It's just so beautiful. So beautiful.
So we got a membership note from Theme Park and Things with Johnny. Says, hope everyone is having fun today. Sad to see what happened to my favorite show. Shut it down till that dragon is fixed. I don't necessarily, I think they'll just try to get the show running as soon as they can. They're probably definitely going to run it before the dragon's back because they need that capacity.
On the B mode. How can we get this running with B mode, which is the projection-based water dragon? That's their main priority right now. Having the thought of Fantasmic down for the rest of the year, I think Disneyland's like, nope, ain't gonna happen. We need to make this come back to life. But thank you so much, Johnny. 20 months. We also got Kawhi Nancy with 20 freaking months. Let's go. Kawhi Nancy dropping the fire. Just want to say, love having you both in the same room. Nostalgia from way back then. That's what I told Danny. I was like, back in the day. Back in the day. Real quick, too, I saw somebody commented. Where is it? Oh, my gosh, I lost it. I can't remember. Oh, well. I can't find the comment. Is the Beauty and the Beast attraction there?
Yes.
Yep. I hope we get a Beauty and the Beast ride that tops their ride. I don't want the replica rides. I'm over the replica rides. I feel like we don't need replica rides anymore. If we get Beauty and the Beast, expand on the story and more animatronics, more beauty. All right. That's it for today, Danny. Thank you everybody for joining. I know today was kind of a tough day to talk about the Fantasmic and the incident that occurred, but Disneyland, if anybody could come back from anything and bring it back to its state or something even more amazing and magical, is Disneyland Resort. They definitely have awesome teams and Imagineers, and I expect some dragon to come back. I don't know what the heck's going to come back, but I expect something. I believe in them. All right, Danny, thank you so much. Where can they find you one more time? The podcast, YouTube, all that stuff.
Yeah, you can follow me on YouTube, Just Ask Danny, and the podcast is called The 5571 on any platform, and it'll be new episode on Tuesday this week, and a new video later this week at some point from my weekend with Mondo and also at Disneyland. So
I
if you
want
want to watch
updates, I want to see
if
them.
you want to watch the Boysenberry Festival, that video, Mondo already has his up, so you can watch the video for that already as soon as this live's over.
We want to watch Danny. I want to see because you did like 2 day.
I did
Or a
two
two-park.
yeah.
Yeah. I see
And then
that.
what time is the member live?
5:30.
5:30?
Soon after this, yeah. Soon after, I'll post it very soon. Also, too, before we get out of here, I just want to say anybody thinking of travel planning to Disneyland Resort or Walt Disney World, and all the videos I post, there's a link where you could do a quote request from the beautiful Mystery Bay. I'm in the process still of finishing what I have to do to be a certified travel agent to get my process going. But Mystery Bay is already getting on top and getting back to all the quotes that she wasn't able to because, we just had a baby. But she's on top of it now, so get on it. If you're considering going to Walt Disney World, you want to look at prices or something in the end of this year or next year, definitely get that quote request filled, and we'll do our best to reach out back to you and hopefully we could book your next magical trip. All right, everybody, we are firing it down the Cali Bay. And just as Danny are calling it a day, I'm the main host, Mondo. Ah.